There's no easy way to create high quality content, even with all the AI tools available. There are steps you must take, and in this video, I'm going to show you how. Well, look, it's happening. The internet is just being flooded with low quality AI generated content. So many YouTube videos out there are just teaching people to just throw a prompt into ChatGPT, copy, paste, throw a cover on it, and then put it up onto Amazon, or just put it out on a blog, or post something to Quora. And while Amazon is accepting AI generated content or AI assisted content at the moment, who knows what's going to happen in the future, especially with the lower quality stuff that's coming out. Okay, you can create great quality stuff with AI. I do, but now I'm even a little bit nervous, even with my past writing processes, that maybe some of my content is going to get caught up in the washout that may happen sometime in the future if Amazon decides it doesn't want any AI content on its site. So what you must do is you must go through additional processes to ensure that you can bypass the AI detectors, and so they will see your content as human. So I'm going to go to my computer and I'm going to show you the things that I've done to rework my AI generated content so that the AI detectors recognize it as human content. I'll show you what I've tried and failed and the tools I'm using now to help me get my content to, over 90% human text. Okay, so let's get on with it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm using ChatGPT Plus, and I ran these tests both in using the GPT-4 model as well as the 3.5 model. So the first test I did was all I did is I said, just write a short story. So there was nothing in there. I was just telling ChatGPT-4 to write a story about this fictional character who discovered intermittent fasting and some problems he had. And it wrote a pretty good story, okay? But when I put that into the AI detector, it just came up as pure AI, okay? So then I came and I told it about what perplexity and burstiness is, because this is what humans tend to do with their writing. They use longer sentences, shorter sentences, different words and that sort of stuff. Whereas the AI generated content seems to be more uniform and robotic. Every sentence is around about the same length and everything else. So I told it what perplexity and burstiness is. And then I said, using these, rewrite the story. And it did. But what I found is when I wrote the story, and I can copy this into an AI detector. So I just copied this story in, or part of it, and I come across to this one, and copy leaks. I find it to be reasonably accurate. I'm going to just paste that in and check it. And it's saying this is human text. If I hover over it, says there's a 96% probability of human text. Okay, so by simply telling ChatGPT to use burstiness and perplexity, it did change it, but it also made it really horrible to read. Like these words, it doesn't really read well. Okay, so I wasn't really happy with that output. So then I came to ChatGPT 3.5. And I did the same thing up here. So I just exactly the same prompt. And then this is what ChatGPT produced, which if we put that into a content checker, it's going to come up with something, like complete AI. Did the same thing, told it about perplexity and burstiness. And then I said using these cons, and this is what it wrote. Right? John is a self-proclaimed epicure, had a grappling with, like, it's not reading really well, but once again, if we put this into a AI detector, select all this, delete that out, copy this in, and check it. It's still even coming up with AI content detected, right? But it's saying that it's 60.4% probably human. So you can see that GPT-4 did a better job incorporating perplexity and burstiness to bring it up to the 90 odd, whatever it was, versus ChatGPT 3.5. But it still wasn't content that I felt the content it was creating would have created an editing nightmare for me. So let's continue. So then I came down and I said, use a conversational style. Okay, so now we're up here. I just said, rewrite the original story with a high degree of perplexity and burstiness. Here I was saying, now rewrite it in conversational style. And so it did that. But then as soon as it did that, I don't know what's happening with this prompt here. It looks a bit weird. But as soon as I put this back into conversational style, we'll put this back into the content detector, paste that in, do a check. Okay, now all that red line is basically saying it's AI generated, and you can see it's saying 97%. So as soon as I tried to use ChatGPT to simplify the output and to make it more conversational and easy to read, it went straight back to AI content. So that wasn't any good. Okay, so that was the experiment with perplexity and burstiness. So then what I did is I decided to train ChatGPT. So I gave it this command here: analyze the following text for style and tone of voice. Apply the exact style and tone of voice to all future responses. And then I just pasted in some of my own writing. So some of the writing from books that I've written prior to using AI. And so I've given it a sample of my own writing. So it's come back and just started to write something. I said, no, okay, so I don't want you to generate any text just yet or any content just yet. Just give me an analysis. And then I said, I want you to remember and apply the exact tone and style of voice to future responses. And then I just dropped this down. It's come back and it's analyzed the tone and style. And I said, okay, great. Now use that exact tone and style to write a short story. And then basically it's the same short story. And so now this is writing very much in my own style. So we're going to come back and we're going to see if we can clear this out. No, sometimes you can't clear it, just got to refresh the page. And I'm going to check this. And it's saying it's human text. Okay. But it's only a 34 probability. But that's quite, quite good. Okay. It's saying it's writing very much in my style, and now AI detectors are saying that it's human text, and that's basically straight out of ChatGPT. So we're getting closer. Once again, 34% probability. If I use another one, this is called the AI text classifier for OpenAI, and I'll leave links to these tools underneath, and I paste this in and I submit it. I haven't put in enough text. This one needs at least 1,000 characters before it needs a good sample. So I'll just copy some more. All right, let's copy the whole story, and I'll bring it into here like that, and submit it. And it says that it's very unlikely to be AI generated. Okay, and this is from OpenAI itself, and this is a free tool, and you can come down and it will tell you what each category stands for. So it's either very unlikely, unlikely, unclear, possibly, or likely. So once again, not bad. It's as far as the AI detection is concerned, it's passing. It's coming up saying that it's human. Okay, but once again, AI detection is probably going to get a lot smarter over time. And then I said, okay, what did I say up here? I said this is the original story written in that style, and then I've told it to do something else, and this is what it did. It's gone a little bit over the top, but it's still good. Okay, so that's how you can sort of play with the prompting to try to get it to write in styles that are less than GPT, less likely to be picked up as AI. This was done in the ChatGPT 4 model, and I've just changed the text, the command here, and I've said, analyze the following text and style of voice. I don't want you to generate any content yet. Just give me analysis of the style and tone of voice of the supplied text. I want you to remember and apply that exact style, tone of voice, sentence structure, and phrasing. Also include personal pronouns, engage the reader, use active voice, incorporate rhetorical questions, analogies, and metaphors where appropriate to all future responses. Then I entered in a different piece of text. This text is once again an introduction to another of my books, and it includes a story. So I'm telling a personal story in here to illustrate a point. Okay, and it's come back and it's analyzed the text, and then I said, okay, that's great. Now write a short story. Same prompt about John, and this is what it brought out. So if I use this, I mean, and this is very, very close to the way I write. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to bring it across into copy leaks. I'm just going to refresh this, and I'm going to check it. And dearie me, even though it's very close to the way I write AI content, and it's saying it's hang on, it's 94%. So as you hover over, it's telling you that part of it's 36% probability for human, but there's a lot of stuff in here that is, you know, high probability AI that would not pass the any sort of detection. So I'm just going to put this into this other free tool and have a look, and it's saying it's unclear. So it's in the middle of the road. It's confused enough to think, yeah, well, look, I can detect AI, I can detect something that could be by a human. I'm not really sure. So it's muddied the waters. Okay. Not good enough. As I said, I'm seeing a lot of AI generated content coming out that is just being, once again, just poorly prompted. So therefore the content itself is very generic. It's not comprehensive, may not even be correct. And people on various platforms are just telling people, yeah, just go out and type this prompt into ChatGPT and copy and paste and whack a cover on it and stick it onto Amazon or put it into your blog. And while Amazon is accepting AI generated content, and while Google says that they're not going to penalize AI generated content as long as the content is useful and comprehensive and everything else, they don't really care whether it's AI generated or not. Who knows what the future holds? Like, they change the rules all the time. And if you're going out there and writing prolifically and publishing a lot of stuff, you don't want to sort of come down the track when Amazon did the same thing with low content and no content books, where they really cracked down there and a lot of people had their books banned or their accounts cancelled. You don't want to be in that position. And the best way to do it is to make sure that you don't end up in that position. Okay. So what can we do? What you need to do. So these are the steps you need to take to ensure that your content will pass a plagiarism check and also pass an AI detection check. So I'm going to copy this text into another tool, and we're going to rephrase it. And that tool is, I don't have it open, Just have to pause the video while I drag the window in. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, so now we've got my tool open. It's called Pro Writing Aid. It's an alternative to Grammarly, so it's got all those great tools that you'd have with a pro version of Grammarly. I'm just going to paste the text that came in that was being detected as being AI. And now I'm just going to come through and rephrase. So I'm just going to highlight paragraph by paragraph. Now it's not going to rephrase paragraph by paragraph, it's going to rephrase sentence by sentence. So I'm just going to click rephrase, and it picks up the first sentence, and it comes through, and then it gives me a number of options, and I can choose which one that I want. So I might try this one. So I just click on it, and that writes that in there. Then it comes to the next sentence. And so I'm just going to take this one. Okay, so as you just come through, so we're just picking up. Okay, so I'm not going to make you sit here and wait while I go through these other ones. So I'll just speed up as I go through and do it with the other paragraphs. Okay. Okay, so that's the rephrasing done. And now I've got a grammar check coming up. So I'm just going to just come through. And I want to bring my grammar and spelling up to 100%. And what's happened here is we need some space. Just I'm just cleaning things up. You couldn't do much. So, here you could probably do, okay, so just putting the internal dialogue back in. Once again, some more internal dialogue. There's another internal dialogue. Now, the point is that in my other trainings, I've said that even with AI-generated content, you've got to take the time to go through, edit, add your own stuff in anyway. So yes, this process will definitely add to the editing and refining process, but it's going to be well worth your time, because you can be guaranteed you're not going to be, once again, caught up in the AI detection, and wouldn't eat till, so change this, probably until, wouldn't eat until noon. Yep. Okay, so if we come through and look at the quality of the writing, the spelling and grammar is at 100%, the style scores at 100%, the sentence length is good, there's no business jargon, readability is great, it's at grade 5, sentence variety, there's some repetitive words, but I'm not really worried about that. So basically it's an active voice because there's no passive voice. All right, so that's that piece of content from ChatGPT rephrased inside of Pro Writing Aid. Now, the other thing that we've got here built in is a plagiarism checker. Now, this is a paid tool, so Pro Writing Aid, like the pro version of Grammarly, is paid, and then you also got to buy credits for your plagiarism checking. And now it's done its plagiarism check, and as you can see, there is no plagiarism detected, so that's a good thing. Now, the other thing we're going to do is we can take this into our AI detection software. So we're going to try it with copy links first. And we're going to do a check. It's saying this is human text, and it's 57, so it's not bad, okay. And every AI content detector works differently. It's got different algorithms, but it's still coming up as human text, and it's high enough to that it's not going to have you flagged as AI. Right? Very unlikely. Very unlikely means that basically it's human generated. It's minimal, but the detection software of choice, and this is what I actually use myself, is something called originality.ai. And so I can come and I want to start a new scan, and I paste my text into here and I go scan now. Now I should have turned plagiarism check off, because that's actually cost me some more credits than I should have, because I did my plagiarism check using the Pro Writing Aid, but it doesn't matter. And there you go. So basically, original 90%, AI 6%, and this is the process that I highly recommend you do before you publish any content onto Amazon. Is go through, yes, sure, use ChatGPT to generate your content, go through your editing and cleanup process. Once you've got your manuscript to a point that it's got information in it, bring it across to a rephrasing tool, do your rephrasing, do your plagiarism check, and then do your AI content detection check. The other reason why I like to use the Originality AI is that because I don't actually have to come into this app to test it. I can test it right where I'm at. So if I'm in here and I've got my text here and I'm working away, I can highlight the sample, then I can come across, because they've actually got a Chrome extension, and so I can just paste my copied text into here, and I can just scan right within my document, okay, without even leaving my document, and that's absolutely amazing. The other thing too is it's also accessible within Google Docs. So it's basically accessible anywhere. It's a Chrome plugin, so I could click here and it would scan this document and give me an originality score as well. So once again, that is my recommendation. I am in the process of creating a whole new training on how to use ChatGPT and these other tools to write high quality content for blogs, but also for books. Okay, so as I books are a big thing, but to make you stand out. And so you're not just going to be thrown in with all these people who are just copying and pasting, not even checking, not even really formatting up their books nicely. Ensure that your quality is top notch. Make sure that you're not being picked up by AI detectors, keeping your content safe. So if anything happens down the track, if Google changes the rules, if Amazon changes the rules, your book is not going to be blocked. Your account isn't going to be shut down, because your book won't be flagged as AI content. So once again, the links to all the tools I spoke about today will be in the description. If you've got any questions at all, please enter the comments. I do have a book prompt style guide available for download as well, but that is going to be updated in the future. But if you go and grab the prompt guide now, then when the new training comes out in a week or so, you'll just get an email and just get straight access to the brand new free training, which again, it takes you through my entire flow from ideation through to publishing, including all these other steps that I have mentioned. Until then, happy writing.